In this video, I'm going to show you some extremely simple strategies to help your metal fabrication business's Google business profile rank, drive traffic, and generate leads. Why should you care about optimizing your Google business profile? It's because it helps you rank here. I call this beachfront real estate on the internet. And there are dozens of things you can change and do to rank in this Google local pack. Let's jump into the 7 most important things for your metal fab shop, starting with 2 things that very few other SEO experts talk about. Why should you care about optimizing your Google business profile? The reason is that it helps you rank here. This is beachfront real estate on the internet. It's also called the Google local pack. This is our client here. First, consistently add photos and videos to your profile. This one is really quite simple for metal fab shops. You're always, 1, you're working in the shop, and 2, you're churning out cool stuff. Depending on your volume and specialties, you're likely finalizing projects every week. When the projects are completed, you can snap photos and you can take a few videos. Really important note here is that these photos don't have to live on your website. They live on your profile where very few people will actually see them. They're more for Google than they are for users. Therefore, they don't need to be professional grade photos. Every week, at the end of the week, you can take 10 minutes and you can add all of these photos and videos that you've taken throughout the week to your profile. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is consistently add photos and videos to your profile. What does this mean? When I click on any profile, you can see that there's the area where you can add photos by the owner. Their most recent photos are 5 years ago and they've only added 5 photos. Now here's what's interesting. They're ranking and they're performing well in the Google local pack. I've got some ideas as to why that might be that I'll share later, specifically for this profile. But the thing to note is that people in this space aren't as tech savvy as, let's say, the lawyers of the world, where they're spending lots of money on marketing and they're always trying the newest strategies. In this space, people are a little bit behind the curve. And so you can get away with performing well and not doing the perfect strategy. And this leaves an opportunity for folks like you. They've only added 5 photos. You could probably add 500 photos over the next 6 to 12 months if you really wanted to. And now, depending on your volume and specialties, you're likely finalizing new projects every single week, if not new projects multiple times a week. Whenever that project is completed, you can snap photos and videos and you can add them to your profile. A lot of folks get stuck because they think it has to be professional photography. Of course, on your website, you want to have as professional of photography as possible. On your profile, most of the time, people don't see the images. Take a look here. Metal Fabrication Seattle. Oh, look, this is an interesting business. I'm going to click to their website. So folks rarely interact with the back end of the profile. They're rarely looking through images in the content here. And that gives you an opportunity to add photos and videos, both in the main photo section. But another area I want to show you, take a look at our profile. You have the same opportunity to add what's called Google Business Profile posts. We add video content here. We offer digital products, so we're not adding videos of physical made products like you would, but we add videos. The longest video you can add is around a minute, and we add these usually on a weekly basis. So you get done with a project, you snap some photos, you snap a 10-second video walking around the product, and voila, now you can add it both to the Google Business Profile photos section, and you can add a new post explaining what that product is. At the end of each week, if you snap some photos and videos, it shouldn't take you more than 15 to 20 minutes a week to add them here, and it makes a substantial difference. Second, get 5-star reviews for your metal shop ASAP using some really basic hacks. The caveat here is get reviews from paying clients, of course, but this hack is a little bit different. It's faster. My guess is that you work with at least a few other professionals. Could be luxury remodeling companies or really any other business that you work with. And Google allows anybody to leave you a review so long as that review is honest. So ask all your professional connections for a Google review. You probably have at least 5 to 10. And when you ask them for a review, make it really easy for them. Send them an email with something like, "Hey Steve, I'm looking to get more Google reviews for my business. Can you please spend 30 seconds leaving me a review? Here's the link to leave the review. Steve, I know you're busy, so here's an example review that you can write for us." Joey and the team at XYZ Metal Fab, they're really good at what they do. and the quality of their work is next level. And within the next 30 days, you should be able to get at least 5 reviews. It seems small, but these reviews can make a difference. The basic hack of getting more Google reviews has some caveats. So let's take a look here. Metal Fabrication Denver, 28 reviews, 81 reviews, 20 reviews. Let's do another one. Let's do Boise, Idaho. 34 reviews, 33 reviews, 38 reviews. You need reviews to perform well. So how do you get reviews quickly? What's the hack? My guess is that you work with at least a few professionals in the trades industries. And Google technically allows anyone to leave you a review. And so while of course you want paying clients to leave you a review, anybody can leave you a review. Let's take a look at this business's reviews. Excellent service and quality of work. So a lot of these are, of course, real clients. But imagine if you knew someone who worked with you on a project together. Maybe they were helping with the installation or whatever the case may be, and they're another professional in the trades. They could say something like this: excellent service and quality of work. That is an honest, legitimate review. And you likely have at least 5 people that you could reach out to. Now, when you ask them for a review, it's very important that you make it really, really easy. Saying something like, hey, I'm looking to get more Google reviews for my business. Can you please spend 30 seconds writing a Google review? Here's the exact link where you can leave it. I know you're busy, so here's an example review that you can leave. It can say something like, Joey and the team at XYZ Metal Fab are really good at what they do. Their quality is next level. Sending out 5 to 10 of those emails or texts will take you a few minutes, as long as you leave the exact link, and as long as you're messaging a person that you actually know, you're likely going to get a few reviews. And again, within the next 30 days, I think you could probably get 5 to 10, and that makes a substantial difference when 34, 33, 38. Getting 10, if you already have a few, can very quickly expedite your performance. Third, make sure your Metal Fab Shop's Google Business Profile categories are set up properly. If you want to rank in the Google Local Pack for Metal Fab related keywords, your primary category must be Metal Fabricator. I've actually seen Metal Fab Shops with the primary category of manufacturer. Here's proof why this matters. So if you want to rank in the Google Local Pack, you need Metal Fabricator as your primary category. I'll search for some more examples. Las Vegas, Metal Fabricator, Metal Fabricator. Ironworks, okay, this one's a little bit different. Let's do Reno, Nevada. Metal Fabricator, Metal Fabricator, Metal Fabricator. Let's do one more for fun. Let's do Oakland. Metal Fabricator, Machine Shop. As you can see, the majority have primary categories of Metal Fabricator. You can only have one primary category, and that's what matters the most. So having one primary category of Metal Fabricator, and then secondary categories, there's things like Steel Fabricator, there's things like Machine Shop. You don't want more than 2 to 3 secondary categories. You can technically add manufacturing, you can add a ton of things, but you end up bogging Google down and telling Google, I do everything. And Google wants to give people specialized results. So by only having a few categories, you're making it very clear to Google what you do. Don't overdo the categories. Google's documentation says to have as few categories as possible. For most Metal Fab Shops, you may want up to 2 categories, just Metal Fabricator and Sheet Metal Fabricator. Those are sufficient. Fourth, add a localized keyword to the first few words of your primary description, aka Metal Fabrication in your city name, like Seattle or Portland. And make sure your primary description is as close as possible to 750 characters. This right here is your primary description. So if you're a shop, you're based in Seattle, then the start of your primary description could look something like, we're a trusted metal fabrication shop in Seattle with 10 years of experience and hundreds of businesses served. To find your primary description, search for your business name and scroll down. It'll say something like from, and then your business name. This is your primary description. As you can see, this is our client. They're ranking in the Google Local Pack. Their Google Business Profile is performing quite well. The first sentence has a localized keyword in it, providing metal fabrication services to customers in Portland, Oregon. So if you're a shop based in Seattle, then you should probably start your primary description with something like, we're a trusted metal fabrication shop in Seattle with 10 years of experience and hundreds of clients. This takes very short amount of time to add to the back end of your profile. While you're at it, make sure you have as close to 750 characters as possible. Pro tip on this one is to embed your Google Business Profile into the footer of your website. And here's exactly how you can embed it. You may already have a map on your website, but I have a hunch it's not the actual embedded profile. Go to your profile, hit share, hit embed a map, and now you've got the actual profile embedded with reviews. As we talked about earlier in the video, with photos, with videos, with content. A lot of people accidentally embed just a map. That doesn't give Google much context. Embedding the profile gives much more context. Fifth, make sure your website link is correct and points to the HTTPS secure version of your site. Here's where that is, and here's also an example of a business doing it incorrectly. Here's where you can find that information. So here are some example profiles. If I copy this link address and add it here, you can see that this is the HTTP version. Again, this profile is ranking well, and that's mainly because this space is just not as competitive as many other spaces like the roofers of the world. And so very easy just to change that link to an HTTPS. Google's smart, it can click on this. It's a not secure website. Google doesn't love that, but there are certain things that Google, has to reward. 41 Google reviews, probably some of the highest in the area. Been in business for 20 years. Google's willing to make some concessions, but you might as well do it right and add the secure version of your website. The sixth thing is to consider updating your business name using a localized metal fab shop keyword. As you may have noticed with some of your competitors, they're gaming the system. They're adding keywords into their business name. This is something you may want to do, but only if you purchase a DBA doing business as with your state. Getting a DBA is actually really easy and it's not very expensive. Let's say, for example, your business name is currently Forge. Sounds pretty cool. You may want to go to your state and get a DBA for the business name Forge Metal Fabrication Seattle. Now you've hit an exact match keyword of Metal Fabrication Seattle in your business name. So as you may have noticed with competitors, I talked about this business earlier. Why are they ranking so well? I think it's because they have the word metal fabricators in their business name. And they may have done this may be their actual business name, or they might be gaming the system. And this is something that you may want to consider. But you have to purchase a DBA through your state, in this instance, the state of Washington, to legally be able to operate under that name. So as mentioned, Forge, really cool name. Instead of just having this say Forge, imagine if it said Forge Metal Fabrication Seattle or Forb Metal Fabricators Seattle. You can choose. Those are small differences, but having those metalworks, metal fab, metal fabricators, every single one of them has the word metal in their business name. And two of them have either fabrication, fabricators, fab variations of that. It makes a big difference. I have a feeling if a business hypothetically existed that was called Forge, they had 20 Google reviews, they've been in business for a little bit of time, and they changed their business name from this to this, almost overnight, they will start to see some substantial results. Seventh, ensure your homepage's title tag, meta description, and header tags align with the keyword that you want to rank for. So for example, you're a metal fab shop, you're based in Seattle, and you probably want to rank for metal fabrication in Seattle, Washington. Makes sense. Therefore, your homepage's title tag, meta description, and header tag should hit this exact keyword. Here's what this means with an example. So let's go back to our client here, based here in Portland, and right below the Google local pack as well, they're also ranking here. This is the title tag. This is the meta description. And within your profile, you obviously link to your website. So when Google's determining who should rank here and getting more context about your Google business profile, they do crawl your website and they go to the link that is linked from your profile, which in most instances is the homepage. So having the homepage have a title tag of this, and then if I go to their homepage, look at the header tag. It's basically just the title of the page, the biggest text. It's a local keyword. We go down here, another header tag. It's a local keyword. Now we're not stuffing it with a bunch of garbage. If you read this, if you were a user and you had no clue that we were playing this game, you wouldn't notice it. You'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, like they're metal fabrication experts in Portland. Having these keywords makes a big difference though. So I recommend having your title tag, meta description, and header tags, the titles, the large text on your homepage, speak to localized relevant keywords. These 7 strategies will take your metal fab shop's Google business profile to the next level, driving more visibility, more leads, and more revenue. But these strategies are just the tip of the iceberg. I'd say by doing everything mentioned in the video, you just got yourself 40% of the way there, which is killer. But if you want to compete with the big kids, you're going to need to do a whole lot more than that. We've helped metal fab shops not only optimize their Google business profile, but optimize their entire digital presence. We're a full service digital marketing agency, and you can go to our website, which is linked in the description of this video, and reach out. I personally will jump on a call with you. See you in the next video.